And we welcome you back to Schoenecker Arena at the campus of the University of St. Thomas. Mike Peden and Alex Nagel will join us shortly. We're just going to jump right into this one. Anoka and Grand Rapids. And let's give Alex his microphone. Alex, you've had your helping of God's sweet nectar. Are you ready for another season of commentary with me?
I believe I am, Mike. Thank you very much.
And in a way, I'm glad you could do this Anoka Grand Rapids game, because one of my favorite stories with you involves Anoka.
Which I remember quite well. And, you know, you talk about Anoka, of all the teams in the Northwest Suburban Conference that, you know, a conference that I'm very well familiar with, the Tornadoes are probably the one team that has the biggest question mark on them. You know, with a new coach and a new system, we really don't know what we're going to get. One player that you want to keep your eye on from Anoka is Jersey McAlpine, very good guard for the Tornadoes.
And on top of that, this is the season opener for the Anoka Tornadoes. Grand Rapids, they've already had a couple of games to get accustomed to each other. Grand Rapids 1-1, lost to Princeton. They defeated Hibbing earlier this week. Anoka, just 4 wins a year ago. But if there's any team who knows that it's not all about wins, it would be Anoka. I mentioned that Anoka story. In 2011, 2 wins in the regular season. They run through the table in Section 7 to make their way to state, and that was the springboard that allowed them to make state for several years after that.
Yep, yeah, it really was. It was an amazing story. You know, this Grand Rapids team, Mike, too, is an interesting story. They've got a lot of seniors on this team, but they've got one freshman that you'll probably want to keep your eye on, and that's Taryn Hamling, guard for Grand Rapids.
Let's take a look at the starters now that they've been introduced for the visiting Grand Rapids Thunderhawks. It will be Taryn Hamling, one of the starters, alongside Jaden Hansen, Maya Roberts, Jenny Bowman, and Maddie McKinney. Hamlin number 21, Hansen 3, Roberts 10, Bowman 22, McKinney number 30. Anoka will start. Olivia Anderson, number 1, Jersey McAlpine number 2, Emily Josephson number 4, I should say McAlpine is 5 today, Maddie Stinkle number 11, and Sidonia Sieber number 30. And we're underway. And Alex, you've seen this Anoka team over the years. Anoka being a member of the Northwest Suburban Conference, Grand Rapids, and independent. Anoka looking for the first points.
Tornadoes starting out with a little bit of full court pressure.
Grand Rapids did not reach the state tournament last year. They were a regular presence in the years of Heaven Hamling. Heaven started her career at Stephen F. Austin, transferred to North Dakota State, wants to pursue a career in construction management, and North Dakota State, Heaven felt, had a better program in that area, so she made the move from Stephen F. Austin to the Summit League. But Heaven Hamling, the all-time leading scorer at Grand Rapids, doing a great job of highlighting some of the talent that lies in the Iron Range. Still looking for our first bucket. Sidonia Sieber with the rebound. Anoka trying to finish in transition. They cannot. Three ball. Unable to hit was Olivia Anderson.
Anoka showing a willingness to get up and down. That's one thing that Grand Rapids likes to do with that speed that they have, Mike.
And going to the line is Grand Rapids. Maya Roberts will shoot a pair.
Fouls called as Nagel. That's your first.
Maya Roberts knocks down the front end.
Roberts.
Grand Rapids, an independent team, no conference affiliation. So they can set whatever rivalries they wish. And Chris Hamling, the longtime head coach at Grand Rapids, told me about the tremendous support Grand Rapids receives from their athletic director because they do a lot of traveling throughout the season. They hit up the Metro a couple of times a year. They'll be back in February when they go to play Minnetonka.
Yep.
And they'll also come here December 14th in the Metro, that is, as Taryn Hamling misses the 3, when they play defending 3A state champion De La Salle. So Grand Rapids, they're not afraid to rack up miles, and they're not afraid to schedule tough. Hopkins is in that schedule. And you know what? Props to Grand Rapids and teams that are willing to take risks like that. Hopkins will probably win that one, for example, but much like Becker at the Tip-Off Classic, you'll learn a lot about yourself by playing one of the best teams perhaps ever in the state of Minnesota.
Well, exactly, and those tough games will really pay dividends for you come February.
Anoka gets on the board by Sidonia Sieber's hands, and Sidonia apparently is a big fan of mine.
I thought you had a pretty good fan base there, Mike.
Apparently bigger than I expected. So Sidonia, she's one of those players who told me that she watches all my games on my YouTube channel.
Oh, boy.
Coaches, players, and so when she saw me for the first time, she was a little starstruck. Are you Mike Peden? Yeah. Oh, I need to start doing autograph sessions.
There you go. Well, Jaden Hansen knocks down those 2 free throws for Grand Rapids.
And Latoya, what were you saying to me? Charge $5, so that'll help raise some funds. 4-2 our score in favor of the Thunderhawks. They're 4 for 4 from the free throw line. And you like to see that. Hamling for 3.
Ooh,
Swish.
big shot by the freshman.
Taryn, the younger sister of Heaven Hamling, played some varsity minutes as an 8th grader. Actually, almost led the Thunderhawks to a comeback over Robbinsdale Cooper in a game I called last year. That game, Mira Beachley scored a 1,000 point. So you might think of the Iron Range as a hockey hotbed, and it is. Grand Rapids having a strong program, but the Thunderhawks girls basketball team, they've always been in the conversation in Section 7 3A.
Yep.
And it's 7-2. Thunderhawks over Tornadoes. That's a traveling violation on number 31 of the Tornadoes. #31, I believe, is Mallory Tommerdahl. Yes. A couple of Anoka players are changing their numbers today. I covered Anoka a couple of times when Scott Ansel was the head coach, now at Big Lake. Here is Taryn Hamling, denied. Sieber got a piece of it, and that will be a push foul on Jersey McAlpine.
Hamling really ventured into the land of giants in on that drive.
Hamling, deep 3. Yes!
Second one of the afternoon.
10-2 in favor of the Thunderhawks. Apparently, all these players have been watching Sarah Scalia tape, if you know what I'm talking about. Anoka will shoot a pair. Olivia Anderson will go to the line. Well, Sarah Scalia, now playing for the Gophers, had the deepest range of any high school player I have ever seen, except for maybe Latoya in her heyday. Latoya watching a little bit of Anoka Grand Rapids. And on the subject of Northwest suburban teams, Latoya and I discussed this briefly. How about Park Center's start?
Well, I tell you what.
Beating Stillwater and Eden Prairie.
Yeah, that's quite a win.
Well, quite a pair of them. I believe they're undefeated, actually.
Yeah.
They beat Stillwater. They beat Eden Prairie. That dynamic duo of Mackenzie and Tanae Griffin. It's going to be a tough assignment when Anoka faces them.
Yep.
But Taryn Hamling, that was a heat check. 10-4 our score. Anoka looking to push. Here's Emily Josephson. Lost it, and that will be a walk. So what are your impressions of the Northwest Suburban while we're on the subject? Maple Grove, a top 10 team. Park Center is up there.
I think another team to keep your eye on certainly will be Spring Lake Park, and I think Elk River is going to be another good team. Maple Grove, I think, has a very good chances to be good as well, Mike. They've got a lot of potential there.
Elk River 2-0. They beat Apple Valley on Wednesday and White Bear Lake last week. Spring Lake Park got that big upset over Park Center in sections. And how about Totino Grace? They're the lone 3A team, but they knocked off Hill Murray in the section semifinal in 4-3A.
Yep.
And a new neighbor this year in Rogers. Irondale left to join the Suburban East.
Yep.
And Rogers came in.
That's going to be another tough opponent.
Champlain Park's got a couple of good players to keep an eye on.
That's why I've always felt that the Northwest Suburban Conference is the toughest conference out there, but I know there's others who will disagree with me.
Well, the Lake might have something to say about that. St. Michael Albertville joining the group. Hopkins, Minnetonka, building on that young team. EP, you know they're going to be a contender in Section 2. As I was telling Latoya, there's so many good teams. There's only one me. And about 25 places I want to be every night.
Yeah, that's about right.
At least with you covering Northwest Suburban mostly, you have one area.
Yeah.
Me, I'm going to be here this week. I'm going to be at Hamlin tomorrow.
Well, I like how you get me exposed to these other conferences that I need to get more and more familiar with. So I'm always appreciative of that.
11:58 left in the first half. Grand Rapids 1-1. Anoka, season opener right here. And this is one of the new elements of the Twin Cities Thanksgiving tip-off. Last year, and the last 3 years to be precise, it was a Catholic schools invite. They added some public teams to the mix, and these are two of them. And it's great to see both this and the Hamlin tip-off event grow to such a capacity that you are seeing several top 10 teams in multiple classes pay a visit. We're going to see Eastview later tonight, for example. And we have Crosby Ironton, another public school.
They won today.
Providence beat Benilde St. Margaret's earlier. Hill Murray will play Winona Cotter later. Hill Murray, they bring back a lot.
Yep.
They've got to get through De La Salle most likely in Section 4, and I'm sure they have payback on their mind after the Totino Grace loss last year. That was number 23 coming up with a block for Grand Rapids.
Alicia Quire got denied in there.
Taryn Hamling, again, off the heel. Number 23 is Emma. That's not Emma Gipple. That is Emma Markovich. Well, I'd say the offseason, Alex, since we last spoke, has treated you well for the most part. UCLA, football, okay, maybe we won't talk about them. How about Iowa?
Well, I tell you what, they're winning today, and good luck to the Gophers tomorrow. I think they'll get the job done.
Anoka staying with it, and Mallory Tommerdahl scoring the layup. And Anoka will get the ball back here. So one reason why I love the Anoka story, again, that 2-win team from 2011, but Our old friend Tony Gear, he died many years ago. He was a part of that conversation.
Yeah, as I well remember.
He listed Anoka as a team that could win, and here's Alicia Quire scoring on the layup.
All of a sudden, a one-possession game here, Mike.
Off the feed from McAlpine, and you said in no uncertain terms that Anoka stinks. Then they win, and you're going, you've got to be kidding me. But hey, the way the playoffs are structured here in Minnesota, every team makes it. All you got to do is go on a run, and look what can happen.
And they did.
They became the darlings of the 4A state tournament that year.
You know, I think when you take a closer look at this Anoka team, Mike, you know, in years past, Anoka was characterized by a lot of big, tough players. Remember players like Ashley and Amber Bragg, Kyra Fredenberg. You know, they really anchored that front line of Anoka. And Anoka doesn't really have that kind of size right now.
Here's McAlpine on the drive, and she'll shoot 2. McAlpine normally wears number 2. Today she's wearing number 5.
That kind of had me thrown off for a minute, but I figured it was probably McAlpine wearing number 5.
Well, you are a Northwest Suburban guru, so I figured it wouldn't take you long to pick up on who's who. Just a 4-win team a year ago. And I imagine for a lot of those teams in that position, your goal is to try to improve on that win total.
Yep.
And they're in a section that is wide open. I believe they're still in Section 7.
Yep.
Well, they're 4-4 at the line, and we're tied up at 10 apiece. But Forest Lake graduated a lot of talent. They got a big win to open the season, though, last week. But there are a lot of unknowns out in Section 7. Hamling inside the line, can't get the bounce.
Well,
Sidonia Sieber with the rebound.
Of all the sections, Section 7 4A is almost always the most unpredictable.
Section 5 has produced a lot of wild and crazy finishes as well.
As I well remember over the years.
Especially since Park Center joined the mix, and even before then.
Goodness, who can ever forget Osseo knocking off an undefeated
Centennial team
back in 2008.
Yeah, Megan Knipe, I think, was a senior that year.
Yep. No, she was a junior that year.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. She was part of the 09 class.
But Jenny Sunderberg of Osseo was a senior that year.
Hamling for 3. Bullseye.
Third one of just his first half.
Taryn is not giving up on that three-point shot. I think she's made it clear in this game she's going to shoot as many threes as she can.
Almost looking like Jordy Bohannon of Iowa last night.
So about 9 minutes before our first Iowa reference. Well, you know what? You were due for one. I already made a reference to Sarah Scalia. I'm a Gopher. Alex went to Iowa. And that explains our allegiance.
It was bound to happen.
Right, that explains our allegiances. So whenever the two meets, you know, I was a little bit salty that Iowa got the Floyd of Rosedale trophy, but Kinnick Stadium, a tough place to play.
Now if the Bruins could have held on to the victory bell.
At least you have the Rams.
Yes. And that hasn't been too good as of late.
Taryn Hamling at the line.
You know, for a freshman, you look at Hamling, she certainly doesn't look to be like a freshman. She's got some size, she's long, and she certainly doesn't play with the inexperience that you might expect from a freshman. She certainly appears to be the real deal. Gets the backhand to go down.
Well, Taryn Hamling, 1 of 2, up to 10 already. Likes to shop for shoes when she's not playing basketball. I find it amusing that this time around I have a breakdown book and you're still working on your copy.
Yeah.
Usually I'm the one asking you, but that's okay.
There's a nice little give and go there.
That was number 10 who scored.
Lauren Youngquist, freshman. I think Nick Novak showing some willingness to get some young players in there, get some good game experience now.
Well, Latoya is becoming a big fan of Sidonia Sieber, and Anoka withstanding that first punch from Grand Rapids. They tie it up again. Olivia Anderson on the layup.
And we're tied again at 14.
Taryn Hamling, by the way, also plays tennis.
Yeah, my sport.
I was going to say, that is your sport. What are you doing here then? I'm not going to lie, I'm not very good at tennis, but big fan of Roger Federer and the Williams sisters. That is a turnover on number 22 of Grand Rapids, Jenny Bowman. All I can say, Alex, is I understand why you get the breakdown book every year after I got to read all the notes.
Yeah.
14-14 our score. No, it is a great resource, and I'm glad Breakdown Sports USA puts that together. Especially coaches don't always have time to get a hold of you because it's not like college or the pros. They have other jobs. Most of them are teachers or they work elsewhere. So it's nice to get a little bit of insight on the players and learn some things about them that help make them human, if you will. They're more than just basketball players, as you and I know. Here's Jenny Bowman, pickpocketed, and it will stay Grand Rapids ball, but Jersey McAlpine ensures that Bowman will not get a fast break play out of this. I wasn't sure what to expect with this game, but so far, this is a competitive one.
Yes, it has
I
been.
thought Grand Rapids would have the edge. 3 ball. And a friendly roll by Maya Roberts. Anoka looking to push, and the ball will go out of bounds instead.
That's one thing about a young team, Mike. You want to push the ball, but yet at the same time you have to be accurate with your passes, and Anoka simply wasn't there.
So, Alex, are there any restaurants you don't like?
Well, it depends what kind of food you're talking. I love Mexican food.
Okay, well, here's why I asked the question. Hold on, we've got a baseline jumper that does not drop for the Thunderhawks, number 34. Texas lost them. Grand Rapids getting a couple of cracks at it. So Jenny Bowman, who made that, or I should say Maya Roberts, who made that last 3 for the Thunderhawks, does not like Chipotle.
Goodness. Oh, there's
baseline jumper drops for Mallory Tommerdahl. And it's 17-16.
And there's a steal.
That's Olivia Anderson, and she's all alone, and she left it short. Oh, no.
Those are the ones you've got to finish.
And you know I'm not partial. I don't cheer for any team, but you hate to see that as a basketball fan. You get the steal, and you're not able to finish. I mean, that's a tough play.
That's the one thing young players have to work on. Getting the steal is one thing, but you have to get that finish to get the points.
Just wanted to explain that to our viewers in case they thought my reaction was a sign of rooting for one team over another. Just you're a fan of basketball, and you want to see them get the steal in the run-out because as a player, that's one of the more exciting moments you get to have.
Lauren Youngquist batted that inbounds pass away. He's hanging tough on there, but they get it in.
Thunderhawks up by 1 over the Tornadoes. A quick-moving game here. We've had a few fouls. Anoka out of fouls to give, actually. Maya Roberts sees a lane. It closes up quickly. The pass back out to Maddie McKinney. And she'll reset the offense. Bowman, 15-footer. Can't bank it in. Sieber with the rebound. And here's Youngquist. When I told Sieber that I was covering this game, her excitement turned to terror. Being one of my many fans that I didn't know I have. That's why I keep doing this stuff. Because you guys watch it and enjoy our coverage, and it's enough to inspire me to keep coming back for more. Jenny Bowman with the 3. Off the heel, and the rebound going to Emily Josephson. They look to go transition again. Anoka does, and shooting free throws will be Maddie Stengel.
Stengel, one of the few seniors on this Anoka team, chance to put the Tornadoes ahead here for the first time in this afternoon.
That's the first miss at the free throw line for Anoka. Well, they don't get the lead, but they do get the tie, and a timeout is called, which gives us a chance to share some things about Anoka. Olivia Anderson, who has 4 points already, plays almost every sport. For high school, she keeps it to 3, basketball, tennis, and lacrosse, and has played on varsity every year since she was a freshman. And getting an AAU trainer this summer. Well, I think they fill it out during the summer. Jersey McAlpine also plays tennis. Alex, we've got a lot of tennis players in this game.
I'm amazed at these multi-sport athletes who excel at basketball.
You would get along with this group of athletes. And McAlpine also a member of the National Honor Society and the Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy. I love sharing those fun facts about the players. Gives us a chance to see them in a way you don't always get to.
Ooh, dangerous there.
And that's going to be a foul on Anoka. My favorite part is in post-game interviews when I drop these nuggets and then the players look in shock and wondering, how do you know that? Well, everyone's got a great story, except me. My story would be maybe a chapter long. Tara Nadling at the line. Well, Alex, since you play tennis, as Hamling gets the front end to fall, volleyball, basketball, that's the most natural of the crossovers.
Yeah.
What do you think carries over from basketball to tennis and vice versa?
Well, I think the movement aspect is probably the most important thing, and then there's also the hand-eye coordination aspect of it too, Mike.
Hamling knocks down both free throws. She's up to 12. Grand Rapids 7 of 8 from the line. It's a low-scoring game, but Grand Rapids, they have held the edge throughout. A lot of great action here at the tip-off. And for years, it was Hamlin all to themselves. And now Thanksgiving weekend is turning into a big one for basketball. There's a lot of games outside of these tip-offs. Woodbury and Henry Sibley meet today, for example.
Yep.
And Eden Prairie, I think they are playing tomorrow as well. I think they host Maple Grove. Oh, no, that's not right. They played each other already at the Tip-Off Classic. Josephson splits at the line. 3 on the way. Jaden Hansen cannot connect. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Anoka. All game long, it looks like they're trying to get that transition attack
and they just haven't been able to get that going. And they're arguably probably a little more successful because of their lack of size with that transition game. There's another turnover.
And it will stay Anoka ball with 3:31 to go.
Anoka still, with all the opportunities they have had thus far, they still have not been able to poke their nose out in front. But let's see if this changes here, Mike.
That being said, the longer you hang around, and remember, this was a 4-win team a year ago, the more confidence you get.
Yep.
3 on the way. That would have given Anoka their first lead. But Anderson.
Olivia Anderson. Boy, I tell you what, was in a lot of traffic. And Anoka has their first lead of this afternoon.
Anderson had a lot of traffic. She paved her own way to the bucket. And Grand Rapids responds on the other end. Bowman beats Sieber. Bowman gets on the board, 21-20, which happened to be the score of the Egg Bowl last night. You may have heard about that one.
No, I didn't.
Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Anderson
Give and
again.
go.
Wow, that
Count
was
it.
pretty.
Olivia
That
Anderson.
was pretty, Mike.
Olivia Anderson, a 3-year varsity athlete. That's impressive.
It is.
And varsity since her freshman year. You know, some folks, they play on the JV varsity line. Olivia Anderson, showcasing her talent. And to some of you, that might not seem too impressive when you see some of these top players, but you know, going in as a freshman, that's always hard. The first time you play varsity, I covered Providence Maranatha last week.
Yeah.
That game had 2 breakout performances from players who had never played a single minute of varsity. As Taryn Hamling missing the 3-pointer. Malia White, 7th grader, you can't play earlier than that, knocked down 4 3-pointers, and Kira Miller, and for Providence, 9th grader, never played a minute of varsity. She had a team-high 15 points for the Lions.
Wow.
So Olivia Anderson, she's had a couple of years on varsity, so I imagine she went through a lot of those butterflies, and it says a lot when you can be on varsity in 3 sports for that long. 2 minutes to go in the first half, 22-21. And both teams in the penalty, so free throws coming for the Tornadoes.
Grand Rapids has come up empty on this last few possessions here, Mike.
Taryn Hamling knocked down those early threes, and since then she's cooled off a bit. Markovic going back in for Grand Rapids. Josephson. 1-1 here for the Tornadoes.
There's been one fly in the ointment thus far for Anoka. It's been at the charity stripe.
That was a phrase I did not hear until I got the breakdown book, Fly in the Ointment. But Anoka 6 of 10, Grand Rapids 7 of 8. As far as free throw shooting goes. 1:41 to go at Shanuker Arena, a venue that could soon host Division I basketball.
I sure hate to see St. Thomas leave the MIAC, Mike. You know, somebody who covers the MIAC like I do.
Well, it wasn't your fault.
No.
I know the MIAC got a lot of flack for kicking St. Thomas out, but
They did.
how sweet would it be for the school? You get kicked out of the conference and and then go up to D1 as a result of that. We'll see. The Summit League extended an invite, but we won't know until the spring. Anoka gets it in before the 5-second call. I know I'd love to see another D1 school. Bounce pass inside to Sieber, and that's a bucket
Yeah.
That's a play you'd like to have back.
She rushed that one, and she knows it.
And then you commit the foul on top of it. What I call the double whammy. No big bucks.
False call on number 30, Sedonia Sieber.
And for those of you who don't get that reference, let's just say I'm pressing my luck with these references then, these one-liners. Actually, no, Press Your Luck did come back on ABC this year. So some of the younger viewers might know what I'm talking about. Free throws. Grand Rapids can't convert on the front end of a 1-and-1. So Markovic leaves it empty.
There's a
And
pretty
on the
little
other
running
end,
jumper.
Lauren Youngquist converts the runner. So Anoka, they were trailing by 6. It was 10-4 early, and then they foul. That's not what you want to see if you're Nick Novak. You get the bucket. You get a big momentum play.
Yeah, and commit the foul right away.
Now you give Grand Rapids a chance to get some points back.
And Hamling, the freshman,
And she's no stranger to varsity ball. Played on this team as an 8th grader. Chris Hamling, the longtime head coach of Grand Rapids. She deferred to her husband when it came time to name Taryn, and I bring this up because the name Heaven for her older daughter, who's now at NDSU, it came to her, I think, in a dream, and it also appeared in a novel.
Yeah.
Hence the name Heaven. And she was a great player for Grand Rapids.
Oh, yeah.
Loved watching her play, and Taryn Hamling knocks down both free throws. She's up to 14 points. The rest of the team with just 9. You have to imagine Hamling will want to change that. Chris Hamling, that is, if Grand Rapids wants to stick around. Lauren Youngquist showing off her range. Converts the long 2.
Youngquist again.
4 points now, 42 seconds. Anoka leads Grand Rapids 26-23. It took a little while to get some rhythm, but we're seeing it now. Hamling for 3. Bullseye. 17 points for the freshman, Taryn Hamling.
And Latoya said, that's my favorite freshman right now, and I don't blame her.
And hey, how about the freshman class? We know we've got a deep senior
I
class
know.
this year, but De La Salle's got a lot of freshmen, Taryn Hamling a freshman. There are a lot of fantastic young guns out there.
Well, let's see if that three-pointer.
Oh, they won't get a chance. Number 14 for Grand Rapids shuffled her feet. That is Brooke Roy. That's unfortunate. And Anoka will have 4.8 seconds. And I heard Chris Hamling, the head coach, say no shots, no fouls. You don't want to foul because that's 2 free throws automatically. So Grand Rapids, no shots, no fouls. Anoka looking to get one more burst of momentum with 3 seconds. They're going to have to launch it.
Oh, is there a foul?
There was.
Oh, my goodness, there sure is.
And Chris Hamling lowers her shoulders in exasperation. You heard her twice say no shots, no fouls. McAlpine just threw it up, and she'll have a chance to score. Time expired, so McAlpine will have the free throw lane to herself. Latoya, did that ever happen with you? Did you ever get the free throw lane to yourself? What was that feeling like? Nervous. Well, I guess she won't have it to herself because they put half a second back on the clock.
Well, I think for Nick Novak and his staff at Anoka, this is going to be a confidence booster for them going into the locker room at the half. And they'll take the lead in.
I find it strange how quiet it gets when they shoot free throws. You could hear a pin drop.
That's usually when it's the most nervous for a free throw
I
shooter, when it's definitely quiet.
I think we feel a little more at ease with a packed house and all the noise because you're used to that.
Yeah.
But when it's silent like this, even I'm worried. If I raise my voice too much, they'll hear me. So Anoka will take the lead, barring something strange. Okay, that won't happen. Anoka will hold on to the lead at halftime, 28-26. It looked like Grand Rapids was going to run away with this, but Anoka getting help all around, including Olivia Anderson and the Tornadoes. If they can hang on to win this game, it would be a huge first step.
Absolutely.
In the Nick Novak chapter of Anoka's legacy.
Well, and you know, those early threes that Taryn
Hamling
hit for Grand Rapids, it looked like they definitely had the huge advantage. But this scrappy Anoka team, they just kept hanging around, and they were able to get the 2-point lead here at the halftime.
We'll see if they can hang around throughout the second half. You're watching high school girls basketball. Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves. Holloman, good if it goes. Yes! Game winners. James, she's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot. It goes in. and everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. Let's put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching. Mike Peden and Mr. Mayak, Alex Nagel, with you at Schoenecker Arena, home of St. Thomas. Anoka leading Grand Rapids 28-26 in the 4th annual Twin Cities Thanksgiving Tip-Off, one of the big kickoff events for high school girls basketball. The season actually started last week because of how the calendar worked out. But Alex, I mentioned this in the first game. Some folks see Black Friday as a shopping day. For guys like us, it's the kickoff to basketball.
That's always nice. I'd much rather be here than at MOA right now.
I don't blame you. Taryn Hamling leading all scorers with 17 points. The problem is the rest of her team has just 9. Olivia Anderson leads Anoka with 8, but getting a little more help. McAlpine, Tommerdahl, and Youngquist all have 4 apiece, so Anoka getting a little more balance out of their unit.
You know, and I like the scrappiness of this Anoka team. You know, they got down early thanks to Hamlin's early 3-pointers, but they battled their way back and carry this 2-point lead now into the second half. Let's see what they can do.
Anoka led by 6 early. Baseline J does not fall for number 22. But Jaden Hansen is there for the putback.
Good patience
Bowman
by
missed
Grand
initially.
Rapids there.
Well, I'll say this. You never know what to expect when you get 3A and 4A schools.
Oh,
Shifty move by
goodness.
Olivia Anderson.
Olivia
and
Anderson.
the 3-sport athlete is showing her versatility.
Did you see that little spin move she made?
I got dizzy just watching it.
I know.
Anderson going on the spin cycle, and a nice clean rinse for the finish. In the first game, you may have seen that. Remember Rachel Kowicki with that tumbling assist?
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of acrobatic moves today.
Oh,
Sidonia Sieber with the rejection. Maddie McKinney on the drive. Sidonia says, no, you're not coming through the front door. Sidonia Sieber, the 6-foot senior forward. Anoka looking for the strip.
well, Hansen ran into a lot of traffic there and got bottled up.
Jump ball, Anoka with the possession arrow. I think that's the first time we've called a jump ball today. Grand Rapids trying to urge their team on from the bench.
That's one thing you want to see from your team, Mike, is an engaged bench.
And that's not a problem for Grand Rapids. Taryn Hamling driving through traffic. Another tie-up. It will stay with Grand Rapids.
I tell you what, one thing you have to admire about Taryn Hamling, Mike, just for a freshman, she's willing to put that team on her back and do whatever it takes. You just don't see that from many freshmen.
Well, and she's no stranger to this team. She played as an 8th grader, much like Como Park and Becker, who we saw last year. A lot of young guns, but experienced young guns. That's why Becker has a good chance of making it back to state. And Como Park, now that they're in Section 3, they don't have to face De La Salle. They could find their way back to state. Olivia Anderson, she's everywhere.
Well, I tell you what, she's come out in this second half with a bang. And a chance now to expand on that lead that the Tornadoes already have.
Olivia Anderson, where did this kid come from? The 5'6" junior completes the three-point play.
Just like that, 5-point lead now for Anoka. Let's see how Grand Rapids responds to this, Mike.
This is Anoka's largest lead of the game. Hamling, she has 3 triples to her credit. Wouldn't be surprised if she tries to take one here.
I think Anoka learned their lesson in that first half.
And Hamling threw it up, really threw up a prayer, and it was answered. She got the foul out of it.
I tell you, I think that just shows a little bit of the basketball savviness that Taryn Hamling has. She knew she was in a rough spot. She was willing to put the ball up, and she drew the foul. And right now, just not a lot going right for Grand Rapids, especially when you can't even cash in at the charity stripe.
Hamling converts the back end. That puts her up to 18. But it's Anoka with the edge, 33-29. Three ball, top of the key, does not drop for Maddie Stengel. Anoka staying with it. Grand Rapids ball. Anoka with a couple of chances, couldn't convert.
Well, I tell you, those second and third chances that you get, Mike, the more of those you get, the more likely that you'll be able to cash in on those. Let's see if Anoka can keep doing that, getting those offensive rebounds.
I'd say they have a height advantage. Well, you're right. 3 ball. That's short. Bowman in position to get the rebound. Sieber trying to get the tie-up. Wasn't able to get the call. And Grand Rapids will reset. Bowman to Roberts for 3. That one's short. And the rebound bounces into Sieber's hands.
I think Josephson took an inadvertent shot on the face there, but she appears to be okay.
Sieber on the backdoor play, and she drew the foul before the shot. Should be a side out, and it is. Sieber thought she was going to go to the line. As I was saying earlier, it looks like Anoka has the height advantage over Grand Rapids. Baseline J goes in for Jersey McAlpine. That is Jersey's first field goal. She has 6 points overall.
Well, I tell you what, when she starts knocking them down, you better get somebody on her.
Roberts through the hole and will shoot 2.
Strong move there by Maya Roberts. I think that was a good move. I think Grand Rapids has got to show some more aggressiveness taking that ball to the rim. They still can't cash in on those free throws.
Maya Roberts, as we noted, doesn't like Chipotle. Focused on basketball, but in the past she played the clarinet in band and was also on the debate team. Alicia Quire out on the floor again for the Tornadoes. That's a 2 if it goes in. It does not. Once again, Anoka fighting for those O boards. And this time it will stay with the Tornadoes. You see Anoka crashing the interior on offensive possessions. And that will be a foul on number 35 for Grand Rapids. That is Bria LaPlante.
Remember in the first few minutes of the first half, Mike, when there was a plethora of turnovers, I think Anoka has settled down now running their half-court offense. Anoka Caldall in now for Grand Rapids as well.
She wears number 13. Chris Hamling going deeper to her rotation. Long two. Swish.
Boy.
Maddie Stengel.
Maddie Stengel.
And Stengel gets her first field goal. Anoka extending their lead. It's up to 7.
And there's a turnover.
Anoka trying to, or I should say Grand Rapids trying to penetrate at the top of the key. That doesn't get anywhere. And Anoka finishes in transition.
Nice drive by Josephson.
Emily Josephson scores. Timeout Grand Rapids. Well, this 4-win team from a year ago was making one heck of an impression. They lead by 9.
They're definitely making an impression on me, Mike. Very scrappy. Despite the little bit of shakiness from the get-go, they've settled down. They've been able to take advantage of some turnovers, and with it, now they hold that 9-point lead.
Well, remember, this is Anoka's first game of the season. Grand Rapids already had a pair of games under their belt, so some of that may be attributed to opening day jitters, as you and I have often mentioned in our broadcasts. A few other teams making their season debuts. De La Salle's another one. Didn't take part in any of the tip-off events or the tip-off classic. No scoring records this year at the tip-off, but Mia Curtis, I think, had the best performance of all, 42 points in a triple overtime win over Sauk Center.
Jeez. That would have been something to have seen.
Well, it was. I did see it. I've got the highlights to prove it. It also helped that Minnesota was playing Northwestern, so
yeah, well, yeah.
They're they've got it covered, and they did. Big game tomorrow, though.
Yes, it is. I even as an Iowa grad, and there's another turnover.
Alicia Quire with the steal, and she'll shoot 2. Caldall will be called for the foul.
Foul called on number 13.
Quire missing the front end. And as I've been watching this game, it's been a long time since I've seen Anoka. But compared to Grand Rapids, as Quire gets the back end to drop, the difference is depth. Most of the offense for Grand Rapids is run through Hamling. And just as I say that, Maya Roberts drives and scores.
Well, Maya Roberts got that one on that layup. They need a spark of some sort here, down 8.
Well, let that be a lesson. Anytime I make an observation, something will happen to make a fool out of myself. But, Roberts is up to 8. But Taryn Hamling, 18 points, the rest of the team with 14. When you have more than half of your team scoring, especially against teams from larger classes, that could be problematic.
Yeah, yep.
In 1A and 2A, you can get away with it. In 3A and 4A, you need to have at least one support option to really contend.
You really do.
And it's not a knock on any of these teams, it's just because when you get to 3A, 4A, the bigger schools, bigger enrollments, you just have a larger roster to work with, right? Larger pool of athletes. Quire going for the steal.
Ball stays in Grand Rapids' hands.
Hamling. Out to number 13, Caldall. Thunderhawks trail by 8. Roberts. looking for a three. Now Hamling attacks the lane and almost got the bounce there. Quire took a hard hit. Maya Roberts scores.
Big possession there for Grand Rapids as that deficit knocked down to 6.
Quire gets back up and is okay, but you heard a loud thud as she hit the deck.
And there's a quick traveling call on Anoka.
And Grand Rapids has a chance to pick up some momentum here. An unforced error on Tammerdahl and the Thunderhawks. Not out of this yet.
Nick Novak making some wholesale changes now into the lineup.
Well, Olivia Anderson's going back in. She was the spark plug, has been the spark plug in the second half. And Sieber also going back in. 3 on the way from Hamling. That would have been big for Grand Rapids. And an over the back foul on the Thunderhawks. That is number 5.
It would be
Gracie Davis.
Gracie Davis.
Davis is the 11th player for Grand Rapids to enter the floor. Anderson with the bounce pass to Sieber. I'm not sure she was ready for it. And Sieber ends up losing it.
Yeah, she may have taken an inadvertent shot in the face, too.
Looks that way. 10 minutes to go. Anyone's game. Hamling for 3.
Boom. Well, I tell you what, there's one way to quickly get back into this. Taryn Hamling's the way to do it. Now it's a single possession game.
21 points for the freshman. I know it's hard to believe, but a freshman doing wonderful things. Anderson on the drive. Hamling able to stay in bounds. And Grand Rapids could tie it with a 3. Hamling with 4 triples. I wouldn't be surprised if she looks that way. Foul before the shot. And that's on Grand Rapids. Now that's a tough break.
Yeah, that really is, and I didn't see what happened. Who that was on.
Hamling lined up the shot. It would have gone in. That would have tied it.
Bad break indeed for Grand Rapids.
And that is the last foul to give for the Thunderhawks. Sieber. No good. Anoka leaving it short. And Grand Rapids catches a break. Maya Roberts, she can't finish in transition. Anoka, once again, trying to run the floor. Anderson spins around and gets the finish. So we've seen a spin move. We've seen Anderson run around in circles, and it seems like a...
What I liked about that, Mike, is that she knew where she was on the court, and when she had the ball, she was too far under and made the adjustment.
Well, for Grand Rapids, it seems like Anderson's running circles around them.
Yeah. Oh,
now
she almost came up with a steal there, too.
Got to be careful. You don't want to get the foul. That allows Hamling to connect with Bowman on the high-low play. Jump ball, Anoka with the arrow. 42-37, the Tornadoes leading.
Oh, what a pretty little running jumper. Jersey McAlpine.
McAlpine with a little finesse, and Anoka pushes their lead back to 7.
So just when you thought Grand Rapids was perhaps in position to get this one knotted up again.
Taryn Hamling can't get the elbow J to fall. Anderson. Lost it. She does recover in time. And Anoka gets the timeout call, the bailout. Their players in a jam. Well, with this timeout, Alex, I asked LaToya this in our first game. The parity this year in the state is incredible. Hopkins, the favorite in 4A.
And rightfully so.
Some folks think they'll have another undefeated season. We'll see. They have a big game with Farmington next Friday.
Yeah.
3A, De La Salle, the front runner, but after that, it's a wide open field.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. You know, a team that I really liked was Roseau. They've won it a couple years ago and made the state before falling in the semifinals this last year. So.
And in 2A, Sauk Center started the season as number 1. Minnehaha beat them, and then they lost to Mayor Lutheran a few days later. That just speaks to the parity, the level of competition. We haven't seen this in some time. You know, a few years ago, everyone was like, well, just give Hopkins the trophy, kind of like UConn women's basketball. And Hopkins did claim it. They're the favorites to win again. Some folks think they could go undefeated, but what you've seen over the last several years, other teams building up their programs, and
well,
a lot of top-level competition.
And I think they were forced to. I mean, they had to get better.
Well, right.
But as one famous ESPN announcer once said, that's why they play the game.
Yeah. A and 2A, of course, always unpredictable, but you get to the higher classes. You know, there was a time in the early part of this decade as Maddie Stengel drives and scores where you kind of knew who was going to win it. Well, Hopkins and De La Salle, remember, those two schools had a three-peat at the same time.
Well, right now, Anoka has pushed that lead back up to 9 points, and there's a turnover almost.
I really like the grit, the hustle that I've seen out of Anoka. I don't know how many wins they're going to get, but this is a good way to start the season if you're Nick Novak.
Well, a young team with a new system and a new coach, it's definitely a shot of confidence in the arm.
You know, maybe not as polished as some of your perennials like Maple Grove or Park Center, but
Hamlin wanted to take that three, thought better of it.
Well, Grand Rapids, they got to get points on the board. And Jenny Bowman will help the cause. Bowman drains the runner, 46-39, 6:09 left in regulation. McAlpine to Stengel. Back out to McAlpine. Denied by Bowman. Quire is there. Kicks back out, too far underneath. Maddie Stengel. Contact made. Here's Olivia Anderson.
Oh, my goodness.
Can't put back her own miss. Bowman. Anoka wanted to travel. Bowman able to get rid of it in time. Another chance for Grand Rapids. And Hamling lost the handle. Olivia Anderson a little frustrated with herself. She thought she should have had it. In a situation like that, though, I know Olivia is a little flustered, but that's a quick reaction play.
You know, one aspect of the game that never gets into the stat line is how a team goes after loose balls. And Anoka's doing a very good job of that here this afternoon.
Loose balls, rebounding,
Yep.
I just feel, even though it hasn't been pretty at times, Anoka's hustle is outworking Grand Rapids. 5:34 left in regulation. And a reminder that if you want to support TSB television sports programming, visit us at patreon.com/TSB television or sponsor us through PayPal or Cash App. No amount is too small, and every contribution helps our game coverage. We have a really ambitious schedule this season, and we would love to fulfill it.
I tell you have to like the adjustment that Nick Novak has made on defense, limiting the looks from the outside that Taryn Hamling has had. There's somebody on her right away.
Taryn is a playmaker, though.
Good rotation on defense, too.
Hamlin calling for it. Launches a deep three.
Whoa.
Swish!
Well, sometimes even the best ploys can't stop that.
And Anoka on the Anoka commits a traveling violation, so another chance for the Thunderhawks here. They'll get to inbound under the Anoka basket. And Hamling, 3-ball.
Goodness, I thought she was going to get that.
Almost got the bounce, did not.
Foul called on number 30, Maddie McKinney. It's only the 6th team foul.
Now at Hamlin, I don't know if you'll get a chance to see those games, as you may have heard, the Hamlin tip-off using a shot clock.
Yeah.
St. Thomas not opting to use it. The shot clock is now in effect for Wisconsin high school basketball, and a lot of folks suspect it's only a matter of time before it happens in Minnesota.
Yeah.
If not by the high school league, it would be a rule put in by the National Federation of High Schools.
Yeah.
McAlpine missing the front end, so an empty possession for Anoka. And Grand Rapids has a chance to make this a one-possession game. But not if Sidonia Sieber has anything to say about it. .446 remains. Anoka trying to hang on in this low-scoring but entertaining battle.
There's a turnover. 2-on-1.
Anderson finding Stengel. Loose ball. And that will be a foul on Jessica Lofstrom. It looked like Lofstrom may have gotten into the restricted zone. I know we talked about that last year.
Yeah.
Second year that the restricted zone is in play. And if you don't know what that means or are new to high school basketball, if you set up down there and draw contact, you will not get the benefit of the doubt. So if you want to draw a charge or an offensive foul and there's contact, you've got to set up outside that semicircle, the gray one.
Yep.
I like the rule.
I do too.
It avoids clogging up traffic down there because, you know, the big thing is you get 3, 4, 5 bodies, not a lot of space, and that's where injuries can happen. Josephson split at the line. And here's Stengel with the steal. A little out of control, though. Runs into the bleacher. Grand Rapids still has a chance with 4:03 to play. That's a lot of time, only a 5-point margin.
Well, Lofstrom at first seemed to have that open lane for a layup, but that quickly closed because she put the ball on the floor.
3:52 to go. Hamling looking for a passing target. Fires the three. Chris Hamling tried to call a timeout.
Yeah,
this is
really.
turning into hot potato. Grand Rapids didn't have possession. Hamling comes up with it, misses the three. And the ref said 22, meaning the ball was last touched by 22. That was a crazy 30 seconds.
That was.
Okay, so the foul was on 22. I thought it just went out of bounds. So Anoka has a chance to extend the lead at the line.
Yeah, and the lifelines for the Thunderhawks in this game are slowly but surely slipping away here.
Well, 3:30 is a lot of time. And if Taryn Hamling can connect on a three-pointer or two, the Thunderhawks can get right back in this. And another miss at the line. Anoka will be in the double bonus the rest of the way, but their missed free throws, they're 11 of 19 overall, giving the Thunderhawks that opening. Roberts wants the three. Stengel with another board. Cross-court skip, and Josephson walked. And Grand Rapids still in this.
Anderson back in the ball game for the Tornadoes.
Whoa, Roberts is in trouble there.
And a timeout call.
And Chris Hamlin gets the timeout call before Anoka could force the tie-up. And that was important. That was crucial because Anoka had the arrow there.
Yep,
2:52 to go. Anoka, for what it's worth, still has 3 fouls to give.
Yeah.
So,
Let's see how Nick Novak.
right, they've got some breathing room here
Yeah,
with
they do.
a few
They
fouls
do.
to give.
Yeah.
You probably aren't going to use them in this situation.
No.
If you were trailing, different story.
No.
But your impressions of this game, Anoka may not be the favorites in the Northwest
No.
Suburban, but Olivia Anderson, I'd say, has really made a mark in this game.
Well, she has, and you know, when you have a player like that, somebody who can, not only rebound, get those offensive rebounds, but make big stops on the defensive end, that's going to make Anoka a very dangerous team, Mike.
Of course, when they get into the meat of the Northwest Suburban, your Maple Grove, Park Center,
Yeah.
those are the 2 front runners.
Yeah.
Elk River, can't forget about them.
Yeah.
I
don't know about
with that group.
About Coon Rapids. That's going to be another team with a kind of a big question mark on it.
When you have a league with 15 teams, they're split in 2 divisions.
Yeah.
That's a lot of competition. But
Yes, it is.
yeah, Elk River, they're a dark horse in Section 8. You mentioned Spring Lake Park earlier.
Who can ever forget what Elk River did 3 years ago? Oh, goodness.
Maya Roberts
What?
lays it in to make it a 1-possession game. And a lot of time left, 2:30. Grand Rapids bringing the pressure. McAlpine gets it off a Grand Rapids player, Wallstrom, to keep it with Anoka. Elk River, yeah, they beat the team that was supposed to get the undefeated coronation in Hopkins.
Yep.
And then ECU beat Hopkins the following year, so yeah, Hopkins.
I was one of the few people who said Elk River was going to win it. For once, I was right in my life.
That doesn't happen often for either of us.
No. Oh, nice finish by Jersey McAlpine.
She saw a lane and she took it. Well, that's what's nice with you and I when I make my predictions. If I'm right, great. If not, well, you get to have a little fun. Maya Roberts, tough shot in traffic.
Good box out by McAlpine, too, on that.
As my ego is not dependent on how many predictions I get right. McAlpine again. That could have been the dagger. Sieber missing on the putback, and that's a foul. Anoka had 3 to give, so you can absorb this one.
Yep.
What you don't want to do, if you're Anoka, you don't want to give Taryn Hamling an open 3.
Well, that was going to bring up my next point. This is where I think
I'm reading your mind.
1:45 left. This is where Grand Rapids probably now has to turn their attention to getting the ball to Hamlin. But
And Anoka almost came up with a big defensive play, but a double dribble violation gives the ball back to Grand Rapids. And the Thunderhawks got to be careful here with the ball
yeah, they
control.
do really do.
We've seen Anoka get a few steals in their favor.
Oh, what a might have gotten her.
Jump ball, Anoka
Yep.
with the arrow. Hamling went
Hamlin-
behind the back,
Yeah.
and you saw McAlpine get in there to help out Stengel.
Tried to get a little too fancy there.
So Anoka can run the clock with a 5-point lead, 1:27 to go. They're in the double bonus if Grand Rapids decides to play foul and chase. Anderson drawing contact. And
Nick Novak
will call a
wisely.
timeout. You might as well
wisely
use it.
calls Yep.
They don't carry over to the next game.
Nope.
1:16 to go. Anoka looking to pick up a victory.
Yep, start off the season on a good note.
And Grand Rapids, as we said, the future's bright for this team, whatever happens here with another Hamling in the mix. And I know you like watching basketball regardless, but I think it's a big deal for this Twin Cities tip-off that they were able to bring in some public school teams after strictly Catholic schools were part of it. But as the platform grows with Minnesota basketball, women especially, the breakdown, they put a lot of events together. You're seeing more events. In fact, the Hall of Fame board put together a new Hall of Fame classic at Anoka Ramsey in your neck of the woods that will feature 3 boys and 3 girls games.
Yep.
You're just seeing more and more showcase events, and
that's all good for the game.
Right. Well, in college coaches, it gives them a chance to see a lot of players in one site. And for us, we get to see some teams that we don't always see as Taryn Hamling launches a deep 3. Of Taryn Hamling, Grand Rapids has a chance here. Maya Roberts with the steal, but can she get the finish? No. Foul's called. As we said back in the first half, Hamlin had Thanksgiving weekend all to themselves for 15 years.
Yeah, for years and years. We used to do that event all the time.
And I still go out there for a few games, but if you want to see some good teams, you can go here. In fact, the Twin Cities tip-off siphoned a lot of those teams. Hamling is fouled, and I'm not sure if they'll give her the shooting motion.
Well, a chance here.
Looks like they will.
45.1 seconds left for Taryn Hamling to get her team back within 1 possession. Obviously, these 2 free throw attempts are crucial here.
More importantly, the clock stops. Hamling, 18 points in the first half, 7 in the second half. Part of that, her 3-point stroke not going down.
Gets them both. So let's see what Grand Rapids can cook up here on defense. Oh.
Anoka on the run. Hesitation move. Yes.
Grand Rapids gambled there a little bit.
And give credit to Anoka. They didn't back down. Some would play the clock, play keep away. Anoka went for the dagger, and it paid off. Sieber, I think, got a piece of it. And Hansen has no choice but to foul. 2 free throws coming. It looks like Anoka's going to hang on. And how about the Tornadoes? 4-win team. And no preseason to really measure anything. So you're going in, you're thinking, Anoka, I'm sure they'll play well. And they played well enough to win.
Yeah, they did.
That's all that matters.
Well, and like I said, I think for this young team, this new coaching staff, it's a big shot on the arm.
Absolutely. A win is a win is a win, no matter who it comes against. Josephson missing the front end, but Grand Rapids, now they're having to fight the clock with 18.9 to go. So even if Josephson misses, she doesn't. Grand Rapids, they got to score quick. 10 seconds, they're taking too long. They got to fire. Roberts can't get open. Good defense by Anoka. And the Thunderhawks are going to run out of time. Impressive defense by Anoka to close the game, and the Tornadoes start the season with the win. I'm not sure how many were expecting that, but for this Anoka team, you see how excited they were, at least for a moment.
Yep.
This could be the spark that ignites the Nick Novak era.
You just never know. I mean, like I said, big shot in the arm. I think what you have to like about what Anoka did today, Mike, they withstood that early barrage of threes from Taryn Hamling. They stayed in their game. They didn't panic. They started getting turnovers on defense, and they were able to take advantage of those. And more importantly, they did not give Taryn Hamling a lot of looks out in the perimeter in that second half.
Hamling, the leading scorer with 26, but it's Anoka who wins the day, 52-46. We'll try to get a word with Olivia Anderson before we wrap things up. Anoka starts their 2019-2020 campaign with a win. And joining me is a three-sport athlete who has been on varsity for all three teams since her freshman season, and that experience showed today. Olivia Anderson, 15 points, team high for Anoka, and you start your season with a win. How big is that for a program that had just 4 wins a year ago?
It's really good. I mean, we're not really used to winning, so yeah, it was just a good experience.
Grand Rapids went up early, 10-4, and after that point, Anoka took charge. So what helped you get settled in?
The press. In the first half, the press wasn't really working, and then we got it together and we got a bunch of steals.
And this was your first game with Nick Novak, the new head coach. So what's the adjustment process been like, and how exciting is it to get a win to usher in your new coach?
It's really exciting. He's a really good coach, and we've learned a lot from him, so can't wait to see what he does.
On offense, you were running in circles, you were spinning in circles, and you were finishing. Alex and I were impressed. You had a spin move that went in, and then you ran around in a circle. I think for Grand Rapids, it felt like you were just running circles around them. So how have you developed your offensive game over the years?
I don't know. I just practice. I go to the gym a lot, shoot around, and yeah.
Like you said, you're not used to winning, so how do you approach a season, with a new coach, new system, kind of new attitude? How do you make sure, the lack of wins doesn't get to you as far as morale goes?
We just got to stay positive. We got to keep doing what we do best and pressuring and get steals, transition layups, and pushing it down the floor.
Now, what's your favorite sport to play of the three?
Basketball.
Basketball. Okay, because I saw you play tennis, and I think what's your fall sport? Lacrosse. So Alex and I talked about this, but for you, I'm just curious, how do you think tennis and lacrosse carry over to basketball? Because we see a lot of volleyball, basketball crossovers. You're a rare breed.
Thank you. I mean, tennis is good for your footwork, and lacrosse, I do it to get in shape for the season, so.
You do it to get in shape. Well, that is a very interesting way to get in shape, but hey, it's fun, right? And you get to play some sports and have some memories, all that stuff, and not worry about basketball for a little while.
Yeah. But I still do AAU, so.
So, is there a sport you wouldn't play? Because I read that you play them all.
Probably hockey. Yeah.
Makes sense. It's a little colder in hockey. All right. So, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Well, hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Olivia, thanks for stopping by. Congrats on the win. We'll see if this ushers in a new era, but more importantly, at least for the next few days, you can say you're undefeated.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Olivia Anderson from Anoka, and that wraps up our coverage for this game. We have more games coming to you from the Twin Cities tip-off soon. Until then, I'm Mike Peden. Thanks for watching.